Well, warming things up, Congress is about to dole out another $350 billion to the banks, but not everyone on Capitol Hill is on board. This time, they want to know how this second installment of TARP money is going to be spent.
Yeah, and how the first one was. Congressman Jeb Hensarling is the sole Republican on the House Financial Services Committee. Congressman, how was the request for the $350 billion received? I understand on both sides they weren't happy with the request and the way it was given.
The request was not received warmly, to state the obvious. One of the reasons that I suppose it's 25 degrees in Washington, D.C. at the moment. Yeah. Listen, I think most members of Congress, frankly, I didn't vote for the bailout package in the first place. I was concerned about accountability, concerned about... And I think those who did vote for it, a number of them are having buyer's remorse. Listen, we all know we're in a tough economy, but giving the incoming administration $350 billion without a plan, without knowing what they're going to use it for, most members of Congress say, no, thank you. We'll keep the taxpayers' money till it's needed.
Well, you know what, Congressman? It looks as if Congress caught up to the American public, because people are out here are angry at how, all that money went everywhere and no accountability. Now, I understand a number of Republicans sent a letter to Barney Frank. You were one of the guys. What did that letter say?
Well, what Chairman Frank is trying to do, and listen, I respect the man. He's just trying to take America 180 degrees in a different direction than I am. He says, well, let's go ahead and give them the money, but let's just put on a few conditions. But a couple of the conditions he put, number one, pick winners and losers industry, but he doesn't necessarily want to help the airline industry. Yeah. Name me two industries that aren't hurting in this economy. Second of all, he wants to take ultimately money from people who are current on their mortgages and give it to people who aren't current on their mortgages. Now, some of those people are not current due to no fault of their own, but a lot of them made bad investments. And again, who isn't hurting in this economy? And the last thing that Chairman Frank has in his plan, he wants to put a government observer in all the boardrooms that somehow receive this money. Listen, Big Brother will observe today, he'll suggest tomorrow, and then he'll mandate on Thursday. Yeah. That's the slippery slope to socialism. No thank you.
And my last question to you, Congressman, who do you blame for the fact that most people don't know where the heck this money went and what it's doing?
Well, I blame Congress. I mean, Congress wrote the law. I mean, the people who have turned out to be the biggest critics of this law, frankly, were those who wrote it in the first place. And, it reminds me of that scene on Casablanca. I'm shocked to find gambling's going on here. I mean, Congress wrote a law that gave Treasury basically, here's $700 billion, do with it what you will, and now they're all throwing their hands up in the air. Congress needs to look at itself in the mirror. We need to get the economy moving again, but handing out an extra $350 billion of taxpayer money without a plan is not the way to do it.
Oh, we'll always have TARP. All right, Congressman Jeb Hensarling from Texas, thank you, sir.